All right, this video we're going to look at these things, graphics. Graphic is kind of a universal term for lots of things in Canva. We're going to look at them, we're going to look at how to change them, change the color of them. I'll show you what a collection is and how handy that can be. All right, my friend, let's jump into graphics in Canva. All right, graphics is kind of like an overall term used for lots of different things. So in Elements, and there's graphics, let's go to see all, and it kind of has lots in here. Anything that's not a shape or a line that is something else is a graphic. Okay, so somehow a gradient is a graphic. Stickers, okay, when you're doing animated posts, there's all sorts of stuff. So let's have a look. I've got magic recommendations from the chicken because I don't know how we ended up with a chicken on the last one of the last videos, but there you go. What we're going to do is be a bit more purposeful. So I want you to type in your animal, okay, that you've got from your business. I've got fox. There are some filter options. I'm going to say I want static ones, not animated, okay, and you can pick some colors. I'm going to close my filter down by just clicking on it. Now, when you are looking for graphics, all you do is click on one to add it, right? Big old graphic appears. Or you can click, hold, and drag it out. You need to drag it out to the middle, not onto the sides, because it doesn't like that. Remember, they just delete. And the other thing that is useful for graphics is that there's two things. Magic recommendations. Canva uses the word magic when they are saying things like artificial intelligence, machine learning. So it's going, hey, you've clicked on this. Look at what we think might be also useful. I don't need a wolf as well, but sometimes it can be handy to find other things, especially when you're doing things like, all right, let's do social media. So let's do, you want an Instagram logo, okay? And you click on this one and let's just click it and edit. It'll say, hey, do you want these other ones? You're like, oh, actually that one's cooler. I like the square one. So it's helpful sometimes, not helpful other times. Let's go back to Fox because some other things that are quite helpful for it is that what you're hoping for is, let's say instead of a fox, I want a speech bubble, okay? And the cool thing about some of these options that appear, I'm going to try and pick a free one. Let's go for a paid one because I know it's probably going to work. The pro one here, this one's quite interesting because what it's doing is it's giving me a shape. Awesome. I can kind of scale it. I can go into these options here. I've got not a lot of options, okay, but down here under the basics or up the top there, you can see the colors. This is really handy because my fox, let's grab the fox out of there as well. Fox, which one I'm going to grab? Which one do I like? Oh, look how happy that dude is. Okay, so the fox here, I can't change the colors, but look at this. If I click on the speech bubble, look, I can go through and say, all right, I want to pick my brain colors. In this case, I want to pick them from my eyedropper tool from, I'm going to use that color. Actually, no, I'm going to use my purple. And then instead of the green, I'm going to click on the green. And I'm going to say not the green, I want you to pick the, I think it's that background color there. Okay, so you can get them kind of in line with your brand and working with other things on the document. So they don't all have that. Just some of the more professional ones, it depends on how they're built. Okay, some of them will, some of them won't. So you just keep an eye on them. Some of them have lots of different colors you can change. Some of them might only have one. Okay, and I'm going to go add some text to that in a second. Other things I want to show you before I start adding text is collections. So what is also handy is, actually before collections, let's say I want something else here. I want some other kind of thing. I can right click this and I can say, go down to info, okay, and I can say, see more like this. And it will show other things that are quite similar. You're like, oh, that's kind of it, but oh, I want the one that is, a bit more squarey on the outside. And you can see, oh, it's got 3 colors to change. Excellent. So that's helpful. Again, it's kind of given this magic recommendations. You can do it from here by going to the info one like we just did, okay, and going to see more like this, or you can do it over here. So I can go to my recently used, this one here, you show me more like this. And that's that AI trying to have a look at other images within their library to find something similar. The other cool thing, which is kind of the same but different, okay, instead of letting AI do it, some of the actual images or graphics are part of what's called a collection. And all a collection really means is like the designer who made this graphic, okay, did a bunch of different things. So let's have a look. This one here, not all of them have it, but this one here is part of a collection, which is awesome. Okay, so you can see this is part of a set. So they're all very similar. So I can go through and say this one has a very similar styling to this one and I can use it for different parts. Okay, but you can see it's kind of the same sort of thing. Let's have a look at one that's maybe a bit clearer. So let's have a look at this fox. Is it part of a collection? It's not. Boo. So I'm going to go to Fox and just keep clicking on stuff until I find one that's part of a collection. Fox, graphics, see all. Let's go. Are you part of a collection? Nope. It's not all of them have collections, but when they do, what you'll find is, look, they're all quite similar. So I needed a safari group of animals. I'm not trying to like match all sorts of different lines and styles and, oh, look at this. I'm not sure why I'm excited, but I can change the color of them. Okay, that excites me. Oh, that's just his eyes. Oh, I made his eyes red by accident. Okay, but there you go. Graphics, some of them are editable. Collections are really handy because you can find groups of stuff, especially when you're looking for things like social media. You know, you need the Twitter logo to look like the, let's go for social media. Let's go this one here. Let's go you. Let's go for, oh, it's part of a collection. You can see, oh, look, they're all the same sort of things. And hopefully when I use them, I can change all the colors to the brand colors. Great for icons. Maybe you're doing a website or an app kind of layout in Canva. Collections are good. One last thing before you go. So I'm going to look at graphics. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's all these collections these ones are being kind of curated, let's say. And sometimes it's just really nice to find something that is, oh, that is so kind of what we're doing, right? And now I can change the colors, exciting, okay? But I can start using these as kind of like super graphics or abstract kind of backgroundy type things, you know, that aren't really essential to the design, but just really kind of elevate what I'm trying to do and the vibe I'm going for. Holding my command key down and using the square brackets to go backwards. Okay. I find some of these things, I don't know, I go from like very literal text, logo, image to like some of these things that just kind of support the design that are quite nice. And often I find them in these kind of collections that somebody else has gone through and kind of curated. These are very cool. All right, so graphics are exciting, especially when they've got adjustable colors, turns out. I don't know that about myself. There you go. A couple of last little shortcuts for navigating. I'm kind of like sprinkling them in the course as we go around. So I've got this, and let's say I want to kind of just bump it across a bit. I can just use my arrow key. Often it can be hard to kind of like, it tries to snap to stuff. You're like, stop snapping. Okay, you kind of get it to where you want, get it the size you kind of want it. And then you can use the arrow keys. So select it, use your arrow keys on your keyboard, and just move it around. You can hold shift to move it in big chunks. Okay, so shift and arrow keys. You can kind of hear me smashing away at the keyboard here. Okay, and then just without the shift key, it moves it just a little bit. With shift key, a lot. Okay, so I use that quite a lot when I'm trying to just line things up. You're like, well, I want it to kind of be there, but maybe just a little bit behind. So a little bit there. Then my command or control backspace. Let's get them behind everything. Ooh, we're fancy. We're going to impress anybody that's walking behind us with our sweet shortcuts. That is totally half the reason I learn these things, is so that I can impress people with my sweet shortcuts. Oh, do I like that? Oh, I kind of like it, but I want to read it. Oh, anyway. All right, the last thing I'm going to do is you can go now. I'm just going to add text to this. And I guess I want to show you it just because I want to mention that some graphics, you can't add text. I double clicked it and it just opened the crop. It's not what I want. So I want text inside of this. It was easy to add it to a shape, but a graphic, like a frame, you need to add a separate text box. So let's hit the type key or the T key and let's type in free popcorn. I'm going to move it. I'm going to click out of it, click back on it. And I'm just going to click and drag it. Sometimes that thing appears, the move key, and sometimes it doesn't. That's, I guess, what I wanted to show you is that all graphics, you have to put a text box on the top of it. I'm going to go through and pick a font. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my handwriting fonts. I'm going to find something that is legible, not legible. I'm using uppercase. Let's go to title case, enter. Then I'm going to spend forever going through picking a font. He's coming soon because we've already used it. And then I'm going to go through and say U, size-wise down a little bit. I'm going to shift click them both. So I got them both selected. And I'm going to group them using the shortcut, which is Command G, Control G on a PC. Oh, thank you. Okay, there we go. Now it's a little unit I can move around. All right, that is it. That is graphics in Canva. I'll see you in the next video.